everyone and welcome to Medico's Tonic. In this video, we'll be showing you the easiest way to draw the brachial plexus. Now, you don't have to really think about when a question comes related to brachial plexus in NEET PG or any other exam, your university exam, because in seconds you'll be making the brachial plexus and everything will be right in front of you and you'll be able to answer the question. Now, this is probably the most easiest way to make the brachial plexus, and the kind of presentation that will be showcasing here, you'll be able to learn or memorize the different nerves, the branches and everything. So let's just get started. Now, before we get started, I want to ask you a question, and that is, what do you mean by a plexus? Now, if you're saying that plexus is a basically bunch of nerves, then you're right. So plexus is always formed by the ventral rami of the respective nerves which takes part in the formation of it. So I will be erasing it. Now that you know the plexus, we have to know the brachial plexus. Now we have to know the brachial plexus. Now there are various plexus like cervical plexus, brachial plexus, lumbar plexus, sacral plexus, right? So right now we are talking about the brachial plexus. And if you have difficulty memorizing the other plexus, you can also comment down in the section below, and we'll surely look into this and we'll make a video on it. Now, without wasting any more time, let's start with it. Now, first, we have the different ventral rami of different roots, or we can say that these are the simply roots. So this is the C5 root, the C6 root, the C7 root, the C8 root, and the T1 root. Now the C5 and the C6 root joins to form the upper trunk. The C6 is already forming the upper trunk. C7 will form the medial trunk. And C8 and T1 will join to form the lower trunk. Now it's taking a little bit time because obviously you have to change the colors. So this in green is the trunk. So here we have the trunk. And this in blue that we had highlighted, these are the ventral rami, or we can say these are the roots. C5, C6, C7, C8 and T1. Now each trunk will give two divisions, a ventral division and a dorsal division. So let's see, a ventral division and a dorsal division, a ventral division and a dorsal division, a ventral division and a dorsal division. So we'll write here ventral, dorsal, ventral, dorsal. Now for the sake of this diagram, we are writing here dorsal and then ventral, because it will be easier to join all the dorsal root to form the posterior cord, right? Now these are the different divisions. Now what happens is that the dorsal division of the upper is the upper trunk, this is the middle trunk and the lower trunk. So the dorsal division of the upper, middle and lower trunk will join to form the posterior cord. So here the division, the upper, the middle and the lower. So the dorsal division of the upper, middle, lower trunk will help us to form the posterior cord. So this is the posterior cord, and I should be making it in a different color. So let's see, this is the posterior cord. Now the ventral division of the upper and the middle trunk will help us, the upper and the middle trunk will help us to form the lateral cord. So again in a different color we'll be making. So the ventral division of the upper trunk and the middle trunk will help us to form the lateral cord. What about the medial cord? So the medial cord is simply formed by the ventral division of the lower trunk. So this is the medial cord. This is the medial cord. Now everything is quite simpler now. So if you just have to make the diagram, then that's it. You're done. But the major problem here is that we have to also memorize the different branches which will be arising from the roots, the trunks, and definitely the cords. So here what you're seeing, these are the cords. So I'll make a line and be telling you what these cords are. So these are the cords that you can see. These are the cords. Right? These are the cords. I'm sorry. So these are the cords. These are the cords. The lateral cord, the posterior cord, and the medial cord. So let's now draw the different branches, right? Let's now draw the different branches. So let's erase this so we can have space, ample of space for making the branches, which will be arising from the C5 root. Which will be arising from the C5 root. Now the first branch will be arising from the C5 root, and it will be the accessory phrenic nerve. Accessory phrenic nerve will be arising from the C5 root, and also we'll have a dorsal scapular nerve. Accessory phrenic nerve, dorsal scapular nerve arising from the C5 root. Also there's another branch will be arising from the C5, C6 and C7 root, and that is the nerve to serratus anterior, or the long thoracic nerve. So let's see, this is the long thoracic nerve, which will be arising from C5, C6 and C7 root. Now we are done with the three branches which are arising from the root. Now let's go to the trunk, and we'll be erasing this so we have ample of space for making the branches which will be arising from the upper trunk, right? Now from the upper trunk arises, from the upper trunk we have a suprascapular nerve which will be arising. So this is the suprascapular nerve, and another nerve which will also be arising from the upper trunk, and that is the nerve to subclavius, right? So when we talk about branches arising from the trunk, we have two branches, that is the suprascapular nerve, this nerve right here, and we have the nerve to subclavius. Both of them are arising from the upper trunk. So this is the upper trunk, and both of them are arising from the upper trunk. Now the branches from the roots and the trunks are done. Now we have a major part, that is the nerves which are arising from the cords. So nerves which are arising from the cords. Let's see. First we'll be discussing the lateral cord, posterior cord and medial cord. Now this is the lateral cord. So the one in purple, this is the lateral cord. This one is the posterior cord, and the one in blue, this is the medial cord. And I have just highlighted it here so that when we are talking about the branches, you may not get confused because I have not labeled anything, right? Right. Now we will be talking about the branches from the lateral cord. So from the lateral cord, we have the lateral pectoral nerve. From the lateral cord, we have the lateral pectoral nerve, the musculocutaneous nerve, and a communicating branch. Now this lateral cord itself will continue as what? It will continue as the lateral root of median nerve. It will continue as the lateral cord of median nerve. I'll be erasing this. Now we'll talk about the posterior cord. Now from the posterior cord, we have the upper subscapular, the nerve to latissimus dorsi, the lower subscapular, the axillary nerve, and itself the posterior cord will continue as what? If you can answer me this, it will continue as radial nerve. So it will continue as radial nerve. It will continue as the radial nerve. Let's erase that. Now we'll come to the medial cord. So here in the medial cord, what are the branches present? So we have the medial pectoral nerve. Like you had the lateral pectoral nerve in the lateral cord, you have a medial pectoral nerve in the medial cord arising from the medial cord. Then you have the medial cutaneous nerve of arm, medial cutaneous nerve of forearm, right? Now another branch from the medial cord is known as the medial root of median nerve. Now this is important. I'll be writing here. This is the medial root of median, median nerve, right? So this is the medial root of median nerve, the one I've highlighted, and I told you that the lateral cord itself continues as the lateral root of median nerve. So you can have an idea that both of them will join to form the median nerve, right? So let's see. Now what happens is that this medial root of median nerve will combine with the lateral root of median nerve, lateral root of the median nerve to form the median nerve. So this right here is the median nerve. And this has been formed by the lateral root of the median nerve, this thing, and the medial root of the median nerve, which is a branch from the medial cord. Right? Now you must be wondering that where is the ulnar nerve? So where is the ulnar nerve? So this communicating branch, can you see this communicating branch? Yes. This communicating branch will now join with the continuation of the medial cord, to form the ulnar nerve. Right? So it's really simple, and I hope you found it easier than what it is written in the books. Now another question that can be based on the brachial plexus are the root values of these different nerves, right? These different nerves. So let us talk about the root value. Now if you could say with me what are these different nerves. This is the lateral pectoral nerve, the musculocutaneous nerve. As you can see, C5, C6. So the root value here is C5, C6, right? Again, the medial root of the median nerve, it is also C5, C6. Then we'll talk about the posterior cord. So this is the upper subscapular, the lower subscapular, and the axillary. Now the upper subscapular, lower subscapular, and axillary will have the root value of what? C5, C6. And the latissimus dorsi, this is special, it's an exception. Latissimus dorsi is an exception. So here the root value will be C6, C7, C8. Now the radial nerve, I told you that the continuation of the posterior cord is the radial nerve. So this is the radial nerve. Now the radial nerve, as you can see, it is receiving supply from all the roots. So what will be the root value for radial nerve? So this is the question. The root value for radial nerve is all the roots. C5 to T1, C5 to T1, C5, C6, C7, C8, T1. Now let us go to the medial cord. Now in the medial cord, The roots will be C8 and T1. For the branches from the medial cord, the root value will be C8, T1. Now the exception here is the ulnar nerve, where the root value is C7, C8, T1. So along with C8 and T1, it is also receiving from the C7, also receiving fibers from C7. I'm finally in third year, so I'll be posting regularly every week. So yeah, please subscribe to the channel. Also share this video with other medicos who are finding it difficult to memorize the brachial plexus. Now also, if there is something more you want me to add into the video, there is something I did not showcase or I did not write, so you can also tell me that. And any suggestion is welcomed. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you like it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, press that bell icon so that every time I make a new video, you'll be notified of it. That's it for this video guys. Bye-bye.